No, I got a Yankee introduction.
The following is the agenda for the regular Borough Council meeting of the Borough Council Lakes, Mayor and Council and Municipal Corporation in the County of Passaic. The meeting will begin at 7 p.m. on March 25th, 2022, in the Municipal Building, 25 Leonard Avenue, Council Lake. Consistent with the Open Public Meetings Act, the meeting will be open for public comment and shall be in accordance with the terms and conditions of the Borough's Municipal Code and bylaws.
Please stand for a flag salute. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please bless this mayor and council as they deliberate on the best of Pompton Lakes. In conformance with the Open Public Meeting Law, Public Law 1975, Chapter 231, adequate notice of this meeting setting forth the time, date, place, and purpose of this regular meeting through notice posted on the bulletin board in the municipal building, mailed to all, have requested and paid for same, and published in the Suburban Trends. Roll call, please.
Mayor Sarah.
Here.
Council President Kent.
Here.
Councilman Day.
Here.
Councilman Cruz.
Here.
Councilman Hinton.
Here.
Councilman Sampson.
Here.
Councilman Lennon.
Here.
With us this evening is our Borough Attorney Mark Semeraro and our Borough Administrator Michael Correll.
Okay, we're going to start with a hearing for our 2026 Passaic County Open Space, Farmland, and Historic Preservation Trust Fund, the Willowfield Playground Project. And I'm going to throw it over to our administrator if he wants to bring us up to speed.
Thank you, Mayor. Yes, so as part of the annual Passaic County Open Space, Farmland, and Historic Preservation Trust Fund grant program, the next funding cycle for fiscal year 2026 is now open to local municipalities. So as part of the application process, which is due this Friday through the county, a public hearing is required at a governing body meeting of the municipality in order to have a successful application. So we talked with the Open Space Committee and with some of our stakeholders about different types of projects, and we've come to the agreement that we'd like to see the Willowfield Improvements Project finished. And by finished, I mean when we went out to bid in early 2025 for the project, we had what's called an ad alternate bid, which is when contractors bid on the project, you put an ad alternate on for different components of the project that you might phase or do at a later date. And if the bid comes back for that alternate within your budget, the local units will typically award the bid if it's within your budget. However, at the time, the understanding was that the playground was expensive and it wasn't within our original budget amount based on the bids that came back to the borough as part of the public bidding process. So that got us thinking about how could we fund the additional components, being both the bleachers and the playground. So earlier this year, we did apply to the Department of Community Affairs Local Recreation Improvement Grant Program for the cost of the Willowfield bleachers for the project, namely for the larger field. And that's additional bleachers as included in our bid specifications, which we'll address tonight. We have a change order on for tonight. However, so again, we applied to the DCA for the bleachers, and we're coming in here recommending a grant application through the County Open Space Trust Fund for the playground at Willowfield. The playground location is, if you're driving down Willow Ave, past the existing parking lot on the left, the playground will be just beyond that parking lot to the left. In between the existing field and the two new T-ball fields.
Where the containers are now, kind of.
Correct. So the total cost of the project is $259,000. There's $30,000 worth of engineering and design costs, and the gross construction costs are $229,000. Just want to highlight that the maximum request that you can put in for the county is $250,000, and they do not fund design or soft costs. So it appears as if our request is under the maximum amount that they do fund, And historically, we've done really well with the county with our awards. So again, you have a grant application on for approval tonight through the consent agenda, $259,000 for the Willowfield Playground. The design upon award will be forthcoming to the Open Space Committee, at which point we will select the design of the playground, the colors, the play components. At this point, it's just conceptual to get funding. So we're here for any questions or concerns. I know in the audience is the president of the Pompton Lakes Riverdale Little League Association, Joe Kleinott, who's here to support and answer any questions for the application. So thank you.
All right, so look, if we're lucky enough to start a project, get it completed, and then get our add-ons in all in the same time frame, that's a big deal. Sometimes we have to put spacing in between that because we don't get the funding for everything we need. So if the county, and they have been very gracious to us in getting us some money for open space and the projects we need, along with our local open space committee group, if we can get this project completely done from front to back, it would be a big improvement to the town, it would be a big improvement to the community, and a big important improvement to the sporting groups that are going to use it. You know, I know our Little League president is here, but it is other groups that will be using this field too. Soccer will be using it, and we'll have more availability for families with children that will have a playground down there for them while they're watching sporting events. So all in all, it's a good project, I think. So I'm going to let, before I get to the council, you have anything you want to say?
Yeah, I can.
Okay, come on.
Name?
Yeah.
Joe Kleinott, 231 Willow Ave, President, Pompton Lakes, Riverdale Little League. I think it'll just finish off this project really nice. We actually have T-ball for 3- and 4-year-olds now, so, you know, they're going to be down there when they're not playing, you know, watching their siblings. What are they going to do? They're going to run around and, you know, ball fields, run in the woods, so let's keep them in a nice facility. And also, you know, some people don't even know where Joe Complex is. So if there's a playground down there, I'll bring my kids down there, and now they might join Little League, they might join soccer. So it's only, you know, fitting that it's just a small parcel of land that there's nothing on it. I mean, it's just our containers and garbage, basically. So if we could finish off that project, I think it's a great idea. I mean, and again, I appreciate what you guys do, ladies and gentlemen. I appreciate, you know, all the support. Michael's been absolutely great with this and filling me in on all this information. So I don't see a reason not to do it. So I appreciate it. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. All right, I'm going to open up to the council. Any questions, concerns, comments?
No, I just want you to know the Open Space Committee has been supportive of this right from the beginning, and they voted 100% to fund this, so we're looking very forward to finishing and putting the playground in. I know we couldn't do it, but we're so happy that we got the funding. And thank you, Michael, our administrator, for following up on that and getting that funding.
Okay, good. No other questions? Okay. So we'll vote on that on the consent agenda when we get there. Okay, can I have a motion to open the meeting for public comments?
Motion.
Councilman Bennett, Councilman Cruz, all in favor?
Aye.
Against? Anyone from the public like to address? Okay, seeing no one, motion to close the public session.
Motion.
Councilman Hinton?
Second.
Councilman Santers or Councilman Bay? All in favor?
Aye.
Against? Motion to approve the following minutes: regular meeting minutes, March 11th, 2026, closed session minutes, March 11th, 2026. Can I have a motion?
Motion.
Council President Kent, and who's that? Councilman Santers, all in favor?
Aye.
Against? Authorizing bills and claims to be paid as listed below. Can I have a motion?
Motion.
Councilman
Second.
Bennett, Councilman Hinton, all in favor?
Aye.
Against? Okay. Consent agenda, does anybody need anything removed?
Mr. Mayor, I think that item 26165 should be removed from the consent agenda.
Okay.
That's the Dresner-Robin contract for separate vote.
Oh, for separate vote, okay. Okay, anybody else? Nope, okay. Liz, whenever you're ready.
Whereas the mayor and borough council of the borough of Pompton Lakes have reviewed the consent agenda consisting of various proposed resolutions, whereas the mayor and borough council of the borough of Pompton Lakes does desire to remove resolutions for individual actions from that agenda. Now therefore be resolved that the following resolutions on the consent agenda are hereby approved. Resolution 26-158 through 26-170, and we're going to remove 26-165.
Okay, can I have a motion, please?
Motion.
Councilman Santers, need a second?
Second.
Councilman Cruz, all in favor?
Aye.
Against? Okay, 26-165.
Award contract with Dresdner Rollin for UAD River Channel Imaging Services for Ramapo River, Paquonic River, Wanacue River, and Acid Brook in the borough of Pompton Lakes.
Okay, I think this,
Yeah.
okay.
Well, I have a conflict of interest, so I'm going to abstain from the vote.
All right, so Councilman Bennett has asked to abstain from the vote for conflict of interest of the people doing the work for that. That being said, can I have a motion to approve 26-166?
Motion.
Councilman Hinton, Councilman Cruz, all in favor?
Aye.
Against? Okay, ordinances.
Did you want a roll call on that?
Do we want a roll call?
Yes.
Oh, roll call.
Councilman Cruz,
Yes.
Councilman Hinton,
Yes.
Council President Kent,
Yes.
Councilman Santers,
Yes.
Councilman Bennett.
Abstain.
No.
Abstain.
Councilman Day.
Yes.
Okay, ordinances.
This is for first reading and final adoption April 8th. Ordinance 2612 establishing the annual compensation for members of the Pompton Lakes Municipal Utilities Authority.
Motion to approve ordinance number 26-12 for introduction.
Motion.
Councilman Santers,
Second.
Councilman Bennett. Roll call, please.
Councilman,
Okay, okay. Go ahead.
Councilman Cruz,
Yes.
Councilman Hinton,
This is just for introduction?
Yes.
This is not to
Just for
approve or
introduction.
just introduction? Yes.
Council President Kent,
I abstain.
Councilman Santers,
Yes.
Councilman Bennett,
Yes.
Councilman Day.
Yes.
Ordinance 2613, amending Chapter 2 of the revised general ordinances of the Borough of Pompton Lakes governing workplace conduct.
Can I have a motion?
Motion. Second.
Councilman Bennett, Councilman Cruz, roll call, please.
Could,
Yeah, again, this is just introduction. If you have a question, go ahead.
Can I make a point, Mayor? Thank you. I'm going to cover this in closed session. However, it's just introduction, but we'll cover it.
But
Thank
if you
you.
have a question, go ahead if you want to ask something. Yes.
yeah, I had a question I was going to ask. I read it over completely. It said, elected officials of the borough shall not be considered employees for the purpose of this section. Could that be explained to me? I mean, I'm an elected employee of the borough. Why are borough elected officials of the borough excluded from that?
Well, our first reach out, is that something we're going to discuss in closed? or-
Yes.
All right, so we'll discuss that in closed session.
I'll wait till close session.
Perfect, you'll be there.
I hope so. Unless I get thrown out again. Last year.
Okay, continue. I think we left off on, did we do roll call? I don't know.
No.
No,
No.
roll call.
Councilman Cruz,
Yes.
Councilman Hinton,
Yes.
Council President Kent,
Yes.
Councilman Santers,
Yes.
Councilman Bennett,
Yes.
Councilman Day.
Yes.
26-09, amending Chapter 4B, Section 4.1, vendors of Pompton Lake, Pompton Day of the Municipal Code of the Borough of Pompton Lake.
Motion to open the meeting for public comment on ordinance 26-09.
Motion.
Councilman Begg,
Second.
Councilman Bennett, all in favor?
Aye.
Against? Anyone like to address just this ordinance? Is that a yes, or you're waving a bug away? Okay, motion to close the public comment on ordinance 2609.
Motion.
Councilman Hinton, Councilman Cruz, all in favor?
Aye.
Against? Motion to approve ordinance 26-09 for final adoption.
Motion.
Councilman Santers, Councilman Councilman Begg, roll call, please.
Councilman Cruz,
Yes.
Councilman Hinton,
Yes.
Council President Kent,
Yes.
Councilman Santers.
Yes.
Councilman Bennett,
Yes.
Councilman Day.
Yes.
26-10, an ordinance to exceed the municipal budget appropriation limits and to establish a cap bank for calendar year 2026.
You want to give an explanation, Mike, or?
Thank you, Mayor. Yes. So this is an ordinance that's a state template from the Division of Local Government Services. Has to do with the annual municipal budget. As you may know, local units can only increase their appropriations by 2% year over year. This ordinance, as recommended by the borough auditor, increases those appropriation limits to 3.5% upon adoption of the ordinance, and also establishes a cap bank, meaning municipal budgets must meet what's called the appropriations cap and the tax levy cap. The appropriations cap has to do with our expenditures, the levy cap has to do with our revenues, and the ordinance allows you to carry over your unused cap bank to the following year. So in other words, by passing this ordinance, this helps us in next year's budget cycle by allowing us to have a cap bank to allow our budget to be under cap. Many communities are facing cap challenges where either their spending's too high or they don't have enough revenue. And again, this just allows us to, again, cap our bank for next year so we can perhaps use more bank to offset the tax rate next year. That's the best way I could explain it. Thank you.
Any questions from us from first? No? Okay. Motion to open the meeting for public comments on ordinance 26-10.
Motion.
Second.
Councilman Bennett, Council President Kent, all in favor?
Aye.
Against? Anyone like to address just this ordinance? Seeing no one, motion to close the meeting for public comments on ordinance 26-10.
Motion.
Councilman Hinton, Councilman Santers, all in favor?
Aye.
Against? Motion to approve ordinance 26-10 for final adoption.
Motion.
Councilman Bennett,
Second.
Council President Kent, roll call, please.
Councilman Cruz.
Yes.
Councilman Hinton.
Yes.
Council President Kent.
Yes.
Councilman Santers.
Yes.
Councilman Bennett.
Yes.
Councilman Ray.
Yes.
2611, amendment repealing ordinance 26-05, amending chapter 190, article 4 of the municipal code of the borough of Pompton Lakes to address the borough's affordable housing obligations under the Fair Housing Act and the Uniform Housing Affordability Controls.
Okay, before I open that, I'm going to reach out to our attorney just to explain that.
Sure. I just, a question for our clerk. We received the review from the planning board on this.
I'm not sure.
You-
Did
you-
you receive anything, Michael?
I don't specifically recall, but
Do we need that first before we do this?
Yeah, we do. So I think that if we can't confirm that, because I didn't see it in the backup either, let's have this,
Table it.
let's second read this at the next council meeting. So I'd ask for a motion to have this carried to the next council meeting.
Okay, can I make a
I'll
motion?
make a motion.
Council President Kent,
I'll second that.
Councilman Bennett, all in favor?
Aye.
Again, so Mike or Liz will reach out to the planning board and find out if it was sent out, the paperwork on that, right?
yes,
And if
thank
it
you.
wasn't, then we got to get that done before we can do this one.
Correct.
Okay, perfect. Okay, that's it. Okay, under my report.
No.
Okay. Under my report, I'm going to just start off, I attended an event last night, and there was a lot of mayors, a lot of them from Morris County, but, some from around here too. And, the conversation between all the mayors was the budget. The budgets are hurting every town, it's not just our town that's affected by these budgets. And really the conversation goes up to the state level. The state is going to have to figure out a way to help the small, especially the small municipalities, to catch up with the budget costs. Our healthcare costs, our retirement costs are going through the roofs. And it's the only way we can make that up is through a tax dollar. It's just unfortunate. It's not just us, by the way. So the conversation kind of leaned towards putting a lot of pressure on our local assembly and senate to kind of, push them along and try to do a little better to help us. We need some relief. I've been doing this a little bit, and years ago, we used to get some good money from the state as offsets for these costs. Our numbers now are so low, they really don't mean anything anymore. So, when we have an $800,000 increase just in healthcare, in the old days, maybe we get $300,000 or $400,000 from the state. We're not getting that now. So that money, unfortunately, has to be made up by taxpayers. So I just wanted to bring that up, that it's not just our town that's associated with that. I attended 2 grand openings, one Fruita Bowls in the Whitehall Shopping Center there. Great establishment. I'm going to tell you, these are the kind of businesses we're trying to attract to our town. This is a chain business. They found Pompton Lakes, they see what we're doing with the redevelopment and the downtown and wanted to come into this town. What happens when these establishments come into town, it raises the square footage costs that these renters can charge, and it brings in the higher quality businesses that we're looking for to come into town. So these are all big things when we get these businesses to come in. The second one was the Wayward Artesian Market and Books. It's like a craft store with a lot of different items in it. Again, something we normally wouldn't see. So we're looking to change our outlook on what kind of establishments come into town. I do have a meeting this week with the Capadaglia project, which is the big project in the middle of downtown, which is moving along pretty well. And, I've been told they're about 95% complete with the back building. I mean, the appliances are in, sheetrock, they got to do some work in the front. But the reason I bring that up is the meeting is about, they're bringing in hopefully a chain restaurant on the bottom of that. Again, this is what we're looking for in our town, to bring these kind of establishments into our town. So these are all good things moving along. It's been a long time coming. I've been a fighter along with the councils and different councils to make this happen. We're starting to see some of that come to fruition now. Forgetting the cost of the fact that we're bringing in pilot money to offset some of those costs that I talked about. So these are all good things, and I can tell you our downtown is growing, and that is always a good sign. I attended a meeting put on by our chief with the clergy. I thought it was a great idea and a great meeting that the chief put in, and I'm sure he's going to speak more about it. But we've always had a good relationship with all the religious groups in town. They're part of our groups, and we're part of their groups. And we want to keep that open communication going all the time. And I'm sure the chief will talk about what was talked about in the meeting. But, for everyone to show up shows that they care about the town. It wasn't like, they had great information and they want to be involved. So I thank them for all coming, and I thank the chief for putting that on. I attended so I'm sure a lot of the things I'm going to talk about, other people will talk about. I'm just going to mention that the BID had a meeting, and they're going to be doing a new type of stroll in the summer months. And I think Stephen will or Councilman Begg will be talking about that more. Another great idea about closing down the streets and bringing the restaurants into the streets. But he'll speak more about that. I attended an ordinance meeting along with Councilman Cruz and Councilman Hinton. I'm sure they'll both talk about that. Some of the things we talked about are nuisance complaints that we're getting more and more of in town, and how we can address those complaints and how we can make things better in that. But I'm sure they'll talk more about those things. I had a couple personnel meetings with our administrator. I attended I didn't attend the rec meeting, but I spoke with the rec department this week. We do, and I'm sure, who's my rec liaison? Yeah, I'm sure he'll bring that up, but we do have our Easter egg hunt on this Saturday. And that is my report. Council President Ken.
Thank you, Mayor. I also attended the ribbon cutting for the new gift shop, Wayward Artisan Market and Books and Curiosity. It's a really very different kind of store. It's like a gift shop, but very, very different, unique items that the artisans actually create, and they are for sale there. Jewelry and clothing and books. Very, very cute. I suggest everybody go and support them. The Oakland Borough. This is the first time that I believe this has happened. They're inviting the Pompton Lakes residents to a program called Camp Go. And this is for children from 6th grade through 9th. So it will not interfere in our summer camp, because that's the younger children. But it includes trips, movies, Mountain Creek, bowling, and it will also include Franklin Lakes, Wyckoff, Ringwood, Wanacue, and Oakland residents. Now, what's important is that the sign-up is only good till April 7th. So if you're interested in that, it is kind of looks like that. It's on our website. And I would say if you have a child or children in that age group, you really want to take a look at that, because it's something we don't know. They even have a Yankees game and Mountain Creek.
We're paying the cost for Oakland costs.
Oh, yeah.
The Oakland residents.
Oh, yeah. So
It's not charging us more.
Yeah. So yeah, we're getting. It looks like a really good deal for what you can, what you're getting. Anyway, just take a look at that. I thought that was very exciting to have that. I'm looking forward to the ordinance to change for the solicitation of people coming to your door. A couple months ago, we had a problem with solicitors from the FiOS knocking on people's doors, not going away. I brought that up along with the other council people, and now we're going to change that, and I'm very happy about that. I want to thank the ordinance committee for meeting on that. Looking forward to baseball's opening day parade, which is on the April 18th. That's a Saturday at 12 noon. That's always a fun time with the baseball and softball players. The lightning service for the Joe Grill Park and Willow Field, as my understanding, is installed. And I want to thank the Open Space Committee for their generous donations to make sure that that unit was purchased so that when lightning is within a certain amount of miles away, this unit goes off and we leave the field. There's no questions about it. And we'll probably be down there and take some pictures and stuff and try to understand how it works. But it's a very good thing. It's very safe for the children, and it was absolutely necessary. And I thank I want to thank the mayor and council for supporting that, and the Open Space Committee members as well. And I did attend the Open Space Committee meeting, and we discussed the Willow Field, and they're very excited about that whole thing, as we spoke earlier. And tonight we met with some of the high school students for CTO Day, and they are seniors that are coming up, and they are going to be our counterparts, and I believe they're going to be at the next meeting. They're going to take the stage here, and they're going to show us their idea of what town and town government should look like. So that's always a fun event. And I met with one of the young ladies that wants to be council president, and she also wants to be an attorney for a municipality. So she met with Mark, and he was very gracious to her and gave her some information. And I want to thank Mr. Patrick, the teacher. He's the teacher that runs that. And I know Mr. Patrick for, oh my God, almost 20 years now, and he's done an amazing job, and he's still doing it. So we're very lucky to have him. And that is my report.
Thank you, and thank you for mentioning CTO, which is Change of Officers Day for people who don't understand it. And the kids have to volunteer for this. It's not a mandatory of anything, and we've been doing it for well over 20 years, and the kids show up and do it. But the important part of the whole thing is they come up with ideas from the perspective of a high school student when they present their ideas that they'd like to see changes. And I can tell you, in the years I've been involved, we've actually incorporated some of their ideas, which were good ideas, because I won't say we're old, but we're not seeing that in the eyes of the high school kids. So, you know, I'm always looking forward to what they come up with. And, you know, and every year it is different. I can tell you that. Every year they all have a pet project that they want to do. And sometimes they're good enough that we incorporate it. So thank you for bringing that up. Councilman Cruz.
Oh, thank you, Mayor. So Monday, the ordinance committee got together, and as Mayor Sarah mentioned, it's really to discuss some of the nuisance complaints we've been receiving from the residents. I'm not going to get into too much detail. This is our first meeting, and there's probably going to be follow-up meetings after this one. But some of the ordinances that we were discussing was Chapter 7-21, parking of boat trailers and tow vehicles prohibited on Chatham Court. Ordinance number 10-12.2, feeding wild animals. Ordinance 10-13.1, chickens, ducks, and other domestic poultry and fowl. And I believe the last one was Chapter 10-6.1, pets which cry, habitually bark, cry, or disturb the peace. We're looking over the ordinance right now. It's not to say there's going to be any changes to that, but we need to address, obviously, residents' concerns. For all the ones that are listed here, hopefully within the next few weeks, we'll have more definitive answer of the approach we're going to take, and that we're going to amend the ordinances as they exist today. Yesterday, I attended the Board of Adjustments meeting, and it was a very quick meeting, as it usually is. Approval of the bills, Colliers Engineering and Design, professional services. For one application, it was for $438.75. That's for BOA 25-08. BOA 25-14, that was for $1,095, and that brought a total of $1,533.75. For Mariziti Falcone LLP, their total was $1,776, and that is for legal fees. And let's see, they only have one application, which was BOA 25-2, and one resolution, which was BOA 2025-14. And that'll do it for my report, Mayor.
And all those things you mentioned, the reason we pulled them out is because those are the complaints that we're getting on. So, you know, if that's the concerns of residents, then we're trying to see if we can address that. Councilman Hinton.
Thank you, Mayor. I also attended the ordinance committee meeting that Councilman Cruz just went over. These are complaints, like the mayor said, from residents in town, and it's going to take some figuring out to come to our conclusion and then run it past the council as to the direction that we go in. I also attended the grand opening for the Wayward Artesian Market, like Council President said. Local artists, gifts, books, and vintage finds. So, very nice store. I was talking to the owner's father, retired police officer from Elmwood Park. Very nice man, a very nice store, very nice family. So if residents could go to the store and check it out, we'd all appreciate it. Enjoyed the CTO. I met my counterpart from the high school, and they will be coming next week, correct? Our next meeting,
Yeah,
correct?
next meeting.
And I also want, an issue came up in town of a tree on Ringwood Ave brought to my attention from OEM, Mr. Evangelista, and we went through chain of command. It came to the chief. Chief called up the county came up, the tree is gone.
Oh, look at that.
So I just want
That's
to,
good work.
I just want to thank the chief directly, and it was a dangerous situation, it could have happened, and thank the chief again for taking care of it. And that's my report.
Okay, thank you. I'm glad, you know, we had that conversation today, and
Right.
and that worked out, so that, I'm glad the
Chief
county
took
came
care
up
of it
right
already.
away and took care of it. That's good to hear. Councilman Santers.
Yes, thank you, Mayor. I attended the special Board of Ed meeting, the tentative budget. As of right now, there will be a 3.9 increase in the school budget this year. The district lost $80,000 in state aid, and their health insurance went up 1.6 million. So to help get the budget to 3.9, there are some teachers and administrators retirements this year. There'll be a reduction in a couple of supervisors, and then there will also be a reduction of workforce. It doesn't look like they're going to cut any programs, sports, or classes, but some class sizes may have more students in them. And then also at that meeting, they discussed the interview process for the superintendent. So there will be a special meeting on April 28th, May 1st, and May 5th. That will be the first round of interviews for superintendent. May 8th, May 12th, May 15th will be the second round of interviews. And those will be the interviews of the superintendents likely that, you know, may be the finalists for May 21st. And these sessions will be open in public, then we'll go into executive sessions for the interviews. The board will come back into session and adjourn the special meeting, so there will be no public input. The planning board was canceled this month, so it didn't come through the planning board this month. And then the MUA, just a reminder that the hydrant flushings will start Monday, April 20th. They will be performed between 12 a.m. and 6 a.m. It'll take about 2 weeks to complete the town, and noted that customers may experience temporary discoloration of water or drop water pressure, and if that's the case, just run your water until the water clears up. And that is my report.
Thank you. And just what we were talking about before, you know, that's a big increase for the school, which is in charge of 65% or so of our budget. So when you have a 1.8 deficit in your healthcare costs, where's that coming from? It's coming from the taxpayers. Unfortunately, it's not their fault, it's not the school's fault. It's the way the system is working right now. So it has to be addressed. Councilman Bennett.
Thank you, Mayor. Tonight, we also met, as mentioned previously, our CTO counterparts. I look forward to the mock council meeting, which is on April 6th at 7. It's a Monday. 7 o'clock.
Oh, it's a Monday?
Yeah, it's a Monday.
Okay, good to know.
The luncheon's at 12, and then the mock council is at 7. It's a Monday night. Redevelopment agency was canceled. I attended the library board of trustees meeting. They're doing a songwriters workshop, and they meet on the last Thursday of each month around 6:30 to 8. They're looking to get that going. They had about 5 attendees last time. There was discussion of museum passes. A lot of other libraries offer museum passes to the Intrepid Museum in the city, American Natural History in the city. There's one in a couple in Morris County that we will be offering passes to. So you check it out like a book, take it, use it for whatever number of days you are signing out for, and then you return it so the next group of folks can borrow it. There's currently one opening for the Board of Trustees, so if anybody's interested, you can reach out to me or stop at the library and talk to the library director. Lastly, I want to congratulate the folks at Wayward Market. I attended the ribbon cutting. There's a bunch of folks that I know that are contributing artists to that store. And that location's right by the, how should I describe it? It's by the
sushi place, I would say.
Yes, down from the
down
sushi
from
place,
there,
yeah.
Right across from the Tony's.
Exactly, to the right Tony's after
Good, right.
VFW.
We're using old landmarks.
Yeah, exactly, there you go. And that is my report, Mayor.
Thank you. You know, end of the day, the one thing I forgot to mention, there is an application has opened up for the senior and vet housing, which we've spoken about in the last couple of meetings. We've gotten numerous calls. I know, Liz, we've gotten numerous people coming in. I got a call just today, asking how they get into that. You do have to fill out a paper application. You can pick it up here, or you can download it from the county, and then you have to make sure they get it, and then it's a point system, and there are income verifications involved with that. But if you're interested in doing it, Pompton Lakes residents get first priority. So if you're interested, or you know someone who's especially a vet from Pompton, and they want to be in that housing, you know, have them do that, because it's going to fill up fast. Councilman Begg.
All right, thank you, Mayor. First, I'd like to make a motion to approve request for Lakeside Middle School to close a portion of Lakeside Avenue. That's Lakeside Avenue from Van Ave to Mandeville Street for the 8th grade award ceremony, which is scheduled on Monday, June 15th, 2026. The rain date is June 16th, 2026, and June 17th, 2026, from 6:15 to 8:30 p.m., and to make Van Ave between Lakeside Ave and Lenox Ave a one-way street from 6 o'clock to 8:30 at night. Also to notify police, fire, and first aid.
Can I have a second?
Second.
Councilman Bennett, all in favor?
Aye.
Against? Okay.
All right, I attended this month's EPC meeting. This year's townwide river cleanup is Sunday, May 3rd. Registration is up and running. You can register by scanning the QR code on the flyer, which has been posted on Facebook, or you can show up to the event at 9:30 in the morning at Hirschfield Park, and you can register there. The EPC also supported this year's first trail maintenance on Sunday, so myself, Mike Meeker, and Danny Black attended. I'll go into more detail about that in a little bit. I also attended the open space meeting. The Hirschfield Park garage looks great. The outside of the building's complete, and the floor color on the inside, it's chosen, and it's going to be gray with red speckles. The Willow Field project was delayed, and construction has started again with the better weather. The T-ball fields will be temporarily relocated to the soccer fields. Last Thursday, I attended the bid meeting. They hosted 2 grand openings, which you've already heard about, with the mayor and council. One was Fruitable, which is located in the Lidl Shopping Center, and the other was the Wayward Market, which I described as located, the building to the right of Tony's. On May 21st, June 11th, and June 16th, the bid will be hosting its spring and summer stroll events from 5 to 9 at night. Those are Thursday nights, so it's during the week. There will be a farmer's market, approximately 35 vendors, and music, and there will be tables out in the street where it's closed. You can get food from, the different restaurants in town and sit outside and enjoy the night. The bid's also conducting a comprehensive district assessment with the New Jersey Business Action Center on May 23rd. Once the assessment is complete, the bid will receive a formal report from them. I think they also wanted some of the high school kids to walk with them, because they wanted to see the paths that they walk in town and see what they're interested in. And then on Saturday, the Trails Maintenance Committee hosted its first Trails Maintenance of the year. Lauren Venn and I walked the Ed Merrill Trail, which has actually been out of commission for a number of years now. Her and I are going to try to go out this Saturday, or at least by next week, and remark the trail, and then ask the county to come out and walk the trail with us. Our goal is really to get assistance from the county to redevelop that trail, so it can be usable again. And then tomorrow night, just as an FYI, there's a free community dinner being held at the Pompton Reformed Church from 5:30 to 7. The dinner is sponsored by the Pompton Lakes Rotary Club. Please come out and enjoy Pastor John's famous chili. I'll also be serving, so I hope to see you all there. And then last night, I attended the Historic Preservation meeting. They submitted their annual report to the Historic Preservation Office so that they're in compliance for the year. And then after the historic meeting, I attended the recreation meeting. They have some events and programs that they'd like me to announce. So here we go. Women's Get Fit is every Monday and Wednesday at Lincoln School. It starts at 7 and it runs until May 20th. Men's basketball is every Tuesday and Friday nights at Lincoln School. The program runs through May. The Pompton Lakes Explorers Rec Night is on Thursday nights at 7 o'clock at Lincoln School. This program runs until May 21st. Pickleball is every Saturday morning at Lincoln School, starting at 9 o'clock in the morning, and that'll run until April 21st. This year's summer camp will run from June 29th to July 31st. Counselor applications are due by April 3rd. There will be an indoor field hockey clinic from March 30th to April 2nd from 7 to 8:30 at Lakeside Middle School. There was an adjustment to that, so the date changed. This Saturday is the Easter egg hunt.
God bless.
This Saturday is the Easter egg hunt at Hirschfield Park Tennis Courts. The event starts at 2 o'clock, and please bring your own basket. The Pompton Lakes Riverdale Little League Parade and opening day is April 18th. And then the Pompton Lakes Bid Paint and Plant is Saturday, May 9th. And then this year's concert series at the Library Lawn runs Thursday nights, starting in June. The 3M Band will kick off in June for us. And then this year's Memorial Day Parade is Sunday, May 24th at noon. The ceremony for the event will be at Veterans Park, and that starts at 11 o'clock. And then, I know, Mike, you wanted me to mention it too, and I know Councilwoman Kent mentioned it. Oakland is inviting, or opened up their camp to our residents as well. So it's for middle school kids. And just as a note, the flyer will be distributed on social media, and it'll be in the borough newsletter. And that's my report.
Thank you. For the Easter egg hunt, if you're interested, it's really for like fifth grade and under, or is it fifth or sixth, I think?
I think it's 6.
Sixth and under. You have to bring your own basket. There'll be different age groups of times when they go out. It meets at the tennis courts. So if you're interested in that, please come down. And the last thing I'll add is, if you haven't taken a walk over, because Councilman Begin brought it up, Hirschfield Park, they put in the new bridge. It's not in place, but it's down there ready to be dropped, which will be hopefully next week. It's a nice looking bridge. It's a one-piece bridge with no stanchions underneath it. I think it will look very nice once it's all finished and done. The county and us together did a joint project on that, and it's looking good. So I think they'll have it in time, the dates that they're looking at, and our camp will be able to run after that. So it's all working out well for that. Administrator's report. Is it Mr. or you?
Well, the attorney's first.
All right, attorney, go ahead. Attorney.
But I have nothing for public consumption today, Mayor.
Okay. Administrator's report.
Thank you, Mayor. Please note that the Willowfield Improvements Project remains in progress. The contractor is in the process of installing the fence posts and chain link fencing and backstops. This is expected to last another 1 to 2 weeks. Once complete, the contractor will be working on the irrigation lines and site grading before moving to the final stages of the project, which will include the restoration trees, plantings, seedlings, and the installation of the sod. Just wanted to note that once the sod is installed, it does require about 3 to 4 weeks to cure. So just wanted to point that out to the public that although the field will be done, we do have to wait a little bit until the players are able to access it for the season for t-ball and baseball. Again, we've been in contact with the Pompton Lakes Riverdale Little League on scheduling moving forward, and for those of you that don't know, the Little League is moving forward with the beginning of their t-ball season on separate fields, whether it's the soccer field or another field. They're accommodating the kids for the time being due to the snow delays that we have occurred over the winter. In addition, the new lightning detection system was installed this week down at Joe Grill Field and is operational to date. The system connects to the Board of Education's base station at Lakeside Middle School. The borough's DPW has been briefed on the system and the required maintenance of the siren. And I am working with OEM coordinator Al Evangelista on the new signage for both the borough fields and the Board of Education's properties. And just wanted to thank the Pompton Lakes Rotary Club and Al and everyone for their assistance with those signs. And the DPW will be getting those up shortly. I'd also like to acknowledge that we've successfully made contact with the governor's office and are working on scheduling a site visit to the Department of Public Works garage with Senator Panaccio, the governor's office, and Congresswoman Poe's office sometime in the near future. As you know, all of our grant applications were submitted to Senator Booker, Senator Kim, and Congresswoman Poe for the project in the amount of $5 million and remain pending at this time. Awards likely won't be announced for another year. So we do wait on that. Just wanted to highlight, for those council members that may not know, in our deliberations over a year ago, the Township of Wayne Shared Service Agreement for Wayne's Flood Buyout Program. Again, initially included 4 properties in the borough of Pompton Lakes. We did end up proceeding with 2 properties. 2 of the homeowners that were originally interested had moved, and the current property owners weren't interested. But just wanted to highlight that 517 Poplar Ave and 1411 Madison Place continued in the program. We closed on 517 Poplar on November 5th, 2025, and we did close on 1411 Madison Place yesterday. So as of yesterday, we do own, the Borough of Pompton Lakes owns 1411 Madison Place. The Township of Wayne will be coming in at some point to demolish the homes with their grant funding, and the properties will return to their natural state. So just wanted to thank the DPW, the MUA, and everyone for their assistance in decommissioning those houses.
Can we ask Wayne to pay the taxes? Do you think we'll do that?
That's a good question, but yeah, we'll address that. As you know, as part of last year's capital plan, the governing body funded the replacement of the fire department garage doors, which were experiencing mechanical issues over the last several years. The project was completed 2 weeks ago, and again, the payment application was on the bills list for tonight. And just wanted to remind the public that our 2026 municipal budget introduction is scheduled for Wednesday, April 8th at 7 o'clock. The Borough Auditor and Chief Financial Officer will be in attendance as we present our annual budget and finance presentation. All are invited to attend and can be viewed on YouTube. And again, just wanted to highlight that the Pompton Lakes Business Improvement District budget will be on for adoption on April 8th, and we do look forward to seeing representatives from the bid to address any questions or concerns. Thank you.
Okay, just, for the public's concern, the buyout program is a great program because it gets people out of the zone, which, costs less to handle when they put claims in. The downside to that is we do lose the tax revenue that comes off those properties. So they're taken off the books. So back, I'd say 8, 9 years ago, we had, maybe 25 houses taken off the rolls. That hurts a small town. It does hurt us. It took us, a couple of years, a year or two, to catch back up to those taxes. So while I'm a fan of this program, we can't keep it going and keep losing houses. Really, the best scenario that would help us is to raise the houses out of the flood zone. They no longer would have to pay a flood insurance premium, very high, very small, and we keep the tax dollars and the residents in town. So, that's the way I would like to see this go, but, it is the state, and they offer the programs. And I had nothing against Wayne. Wayne does it all the time. They're just a bigger community than us. Any questions for the, go ahead.
I just had 2 more items. I'm
Sure.
so sorry. Just wanted to highlight on tonight's agenda, we do have a grant application to the Passaic County Community Development Block Grant Program. Just wanted to make the public aware, we are coming in. We're looking to install a new crosswalk across Howard Street adjacent to DuPont Place, and new crosswalks from DuPont Place to the playground at DuPont Park. So that cost is over $250,000 for that project, all hopefully funded by the grant. So we do wait on that, and I just wanted to highlight the improvements coming to that area. And I just wanted to follow up on the Borough of Oakland Summer Camp, a very important point. It's only open to those entering 7th and 8th grade. We don't want to lose our folks entering 6th grade, because summer camp extends to those entering 6th grade. So the Borough of Oakland is accepting registrations, but again, only for Pompton Lakes children entering 7th and 8th grade. And that was at recommendation of our rec director. Thank you.
Good. Questions? You had a question?
Yes, a question on 517 Poplar and 1411 Madison that were being torn down. Was there no chance of those houses being elevated, and we wouldn't have lost the tax?
I don't think the program was offered to elevate.
It wasn't. I remember that conversation. It wasn't.
Just to demolish.
And those two vacant lots that are gonna be there now, are the DPW gonna have to take care of them also?
Yes.
So that's added cost. We're losing revenue and added cost of maintenance of those.
Unfortunately, we don't have a say because it came out of Wayne. So they applied in Wayne, not through Pompton Lakes. How they crossed the lines to do that, I'm a little, I don't know how that actually happens, but I guess it's allowed to happen. I can tell you this, when you know, what I just said, and I think what you're saying also is raising a house is the benefit, but it's also the downside of that is the seniors don't want the steps, right? Because you're gonna have to have steps put in.
We understand that. Then seniors don't buy the house.
True, but if they live there now, that's.
Young people who can buy the house, they can run up the steps, and their kids can run up the steps. We lose tax revenue.
I agree.
in the borough.
These are severe repetitive loss homes, and.
Correct, but they could also be elevated.
It was out of pocket.
But there's
no
that's not
program.
paid for.
It was out of pocket.
Yeah.
They didn't have the money.
So they did offer a program years ago, they did
Years
both,
ago, they did, yes.
but this one was only a buyout.
Just a buy.
A shame.
Yep, it was.
If I may just highlight, most of the properties that the DPW does maintain are state-owned Blue Acres properties, and we do that out of good faith to the surrounding residents to keep those clean. We don't have to do that, we're not required to do that. We only owe very few borough-owned properties. However, to Councilman Hinton's point, these are going to be borough-owned properties, will be increased maintenance, and the DPW will have to maintain those.
We
So,
understand that, and
yeah.
the aspect the mayor can reiterate is, no matter who owns the properties, the mayor could get a call that the neighbors want those properties maintained.
And I can understand why. If I lived next to a lot that would bring back the natural state, and it wasn't a natural state before that, it was a home, I would be a little concerned myself.
I noticed on our agenda, liaison to the DPW, it says Friday, April 3rd, 2026 is a borough holiday. Municipal building is closed, no garbage pickup, DPW or recycling center is closed, the library is closed. So I
Thank
just
you.
wanted to add that.
Okay. Any other concerns, Administrator? No? All right, Chief's report.
Yes, so I had a great opportunity to meet with all our religious leaders in town. I sent invites to any and all religious communities that were within the borough. Most attended, but it was the purpose of the meeting was to strengthen our communication, build relationships, and establish an open dialogue of communication with everybody in the room. To my knowledge, this is the first time in decades that we've had any type of such meeting like this. It was a great opportunity to engage with them, to listen to some of their concerns, see how we can, keep this relationship moving forward, and to, also raise awareness for some upcoming programs that the police department is going to be getting involved in, which I'll briefly touch upon it. We're going to be in the upcoming months, we're going to be starting our participation in the RIVE program. And what the RIVE program, once it's implemented, it'll enhance the police department and the borough's ability to deal with the individuals that need appropriate mental health. And a lot of times, our religious leaders are the first ones to know about an individual, a person in our community, whether it's our youth or our adults or our senior population where they need extra help. It's going to give them that ability to contact us and then have someone respond if they need help. So I think it'll be a great program, and in the coming months, when this is all ironed out in agreement with the prosecutor's office, I will be bringing further information about this to your attention prior. But it was a great conversation. We had great conversations. They brought up some good points, and it was good to meet with them. I met with them along with my entire command staff, along with the detective bureau. The mayor was in attendance, and it was just a great beginning to, I hope, to a better relationship and open communication with them in the future. Plan is to meet with them on a yearly basis, if not more. So it was a really great meeting.
And one of the things actually the chief brought out when he had the meeting, which caught my eye, when we're bringing residents into our establishments here, we have conditions, you're going through metal detectors, whether it's court, I have the contact to the police department if I had to reach out to them, where the church has no restrictions or anybody can just walk into the church with no concerns. They're welcoming people into all the religious groups. That's a double-edged sword, right? You're welcoming people in, but you don't know who you're welcoming in either. In this world and this time, it's a good idea that the chief put this together to be planned for the future for this kind of thing, because you never know what can happen.
Yeah, we talked about risk assessments and how to, make sure their parishioners and the congregation is safe at all times. So I laid out the options that they have to, if they want to further move along with any type of risk assessments and things of that nature. And like I said, it was very, very productive meeting.
Good. Okay, workshop, Mike. Our old solicitors.
Thank you, Mayor. So on tonight's workshop agenda is regarding solicitor applications and soliciting throughout the borough. So we do have several items to discuss. I'm going to let our borough attorney kind of take the helm on this one, but just wanted to highlight, we do have a draft ordinance in your packet to limit the time of the solicitation, especially during the evening, which the borough attorney will go through. And we also have a fee schedule from some of our surrounding communities, ranging from Wanacue, Ringwood, to West Milford, to Bloomingdale, to Wayne. It appears to be that we're kind of in the average, if not charging what most other communities charge. Some other communities do charge $200. We charge $100 for the solicitor permit. So discussion will ensue about that and any other concerns or suggestions that the governing body has. So I'm going to let Mark just quickly highlight the draft ordinance that was included regarding the time.
Okay, thank you. As everyone will recall, this was raised a few council meetings ago, and I thought that the case law out there was more limiting than, quite frankly, I found it to be. The ask was to see if we could stop solicitation at 6 p.m. in light of some of the issues that the community was having. And through our research, we found one case where the ordinance was invalidated for other reasons. However, they had indicated that a 5 o'clock time was a reasonable restriction, which they would have upheld had it not been for the other provisions. I'm not convinced that the 5 o'clock is something that would be upheld by every court, but we were asking for 6 o'clock, and I feel that we have a defendable position with respect to that. So that's what we're doing. We're able to provide what you asked for.
Thank you.
So everybody's good, comfortable with that time, 6?
Yes.
Everybody's good with that?
Yes.
Absolutely. All right, so we can move forward with that time frame. Let's talk about the fee schedule. Let me just throw this out there. I could be wrong. The higher the fee schedule, the less solicitors will have it. That's the way I'm looking at it.
The exact same thing.
Yeah.
So why not go to the higher number, and if they pay it, then we're making some more money, but if they don't, we get less solicitors. I'm okay with that.
Well, I wouldn't make it onerous. I mean, I think that what they're suggesting works. I think that you probably could face yourself with a interference with freedom of speech if we get too high.
Well,
So
is 200 too high?
I didn't do the analysis.
What do you think?
It's the highest fee. So, I think the recommendation would be anywhere from 150 to 175. Again, these typically aren't residents that are coming in and getting these
they're
permits. It's corporations or utility companies. So this isn't something that we're expressly, charging our residents
And
for.
these are for commercial. And like I
Right,
said, these are for the
right.
commercial.
All right, how does everybody feel about that with the numbers?
I like 175.
175.
175 works for me.
All right, let's do the 175.
I agree.
Right?
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to be the highest.
I was gonna say 1,000, but I guess.
Yeah, that might be.
Um, all right, what else we got on that? Anything, Mike?
No, so just to be clear, we're gonna have a draft ordinance for introduction at the next council meeting, both limiting the time from 9 o'clock PM to 6 o'clock PM, and.
9 o'clock AM.
Yeah, the code is written as 9 AM to 9 PM. I'm sorry, 10 AM to 9 PM.
It was 10.
We're gonna limit it from 10 AM to 6 PM. And again, adjust the fee from $100 to $175 for the permit fee. And I would ask Mark to include that in the draft ordinance. Thank you.
Yes.
So I just have a question, because residents have asked me this. If they have a no solicit sign or are on a no solicit list, and then they come, what happens at that point?
That's a violation of an ordinance and it's summonsable. The no-knock ordinance has to be followed.
By who? By the police would then follow that summons, or how's that work?
Well, I'm not familiar right now with what the no-knock ordinance
I don't have it.
reads. I could familiarize myself with it.
Am I
if you
correct,
like.
Chief, that we have a no soliciting list? in town?
Yes, we have a no soliciting list that members of the public can, contact the borough.
Liz, they sign up through you?
Yes.
Okay, so if someone signs up and they knock on that door, then what's the next step?
So I was actually just asking while you were asking the same question, I was asking the borough administrator the same question. It appears that we can issue them a summons, and then we have to go to the violations ordinance, and I don't have the violations ordinance in front of me to find out what the fees are.
What the penalty would be.
What the penalties would be. And that also would go to if they don't even get it, if they don't even have the permit, and we find them on there, it looks like we would also go to that too. I don't know if that's something that you want to, if you want to review too, of maybe raising what those penalties are for individuals that violate, because we did have a lot of people this year not even bother getting permits, and they were, we had to issue a number of summonses.
So if you, just so the public hears this, just putting a sign in your yard that says no soliciting, does that carry any weight?
I mean, not, if they have the permit and they're not on the no solicitors list, they can still knock on the door. That's not gonna, that's not gonna prompt us to issue summons. I would hope that they would respect that the resident's wishes, but they're gonna say, well, he wasn't on the permit,
That would make it a private trespass issue.
Yes.
Whereas this is something for us to enforce.
Correct.
Yeah, so, if you like, Mayor, if it pleases the governing body, I'll be conversant on that list at the next meeting, and I'll also be prepared with any changes that I think might be advisable.
Okay.
If I see anything that's questionable on it, I'll make sure I give the chief a call, and we'll come up with a solution.
So Liz, I'm guessing when they come to you,
Yes,
you hand
it's
them a
the
list.
whole process. When they come, they get the list. They're given a memo that states that they have to each week check to see if the list has been updated. Plus, they also have to get a parking, a badge. So when they come in town, they get it for their car, and they have to keep that updated as well.
So for the residents, again, this is for the residents at home and the people here, don't be afraid if someone's knocking on your door and they don't have a badge to show that they're ID'd from being sponsored by the town, or they don't have a badge on their car. It's not, the police are welcoming that call to we're not doing anything illegal there. Hey, this guy's knocking on my door. I asked to see a badge. He doesn't want to show me a badge. He'll probably leave by that point, but, I'm sure the police will find him at the next house, stop him and say, hey, we were told you don't have a badge. Do you have a badge?
They get a certificate that's signed with a seal on it.
Right.
The borough's.
That they have to carry with them at all times.
And a picture, and I'm sure a picture won't.
Yeah, I'm thinking a picture too, right? Isn't it a picture? Or no?
No.
No, I'm saying a picture if they're at their house of the
Oh, yeah.
the
that's
offending
sure,
party.
Okay. All right, so let's work on that, but I think go ahead, you have something?
Yeah, I was just gonna say, we just found the violations, so I mean, if the person was found guilty of violating the no solicitor list or without a permit, it looks to be that it's like $124 fine total. Some of that goes to court costs and things of that nature, so I don't know if that's something you want to.
Well, he'll kind of lift that up a little bit, right?
It would be
Yeah, that
for
sounds a little light.
Yeah, but it's for any and all offenses. It's not broken down by first or
Okay.
second, it's just any.
That is, let's increase it. It'll be a good deterrent.
Yeah. Anybody have concerns with this? No? Okay. Okay, motion to open the meeting for public comments.
Motion, second.
Councilman Cruz, Councilman Bennett, all in favor?
Aye.
Against? Anyone like from the public like to address? Oh, I'll get you next.
Joe Kleinot, 231 Willow Ave. I'd like to thank Marie Kent and her committees for the lightning detection. It's on top of the snack stand, so you really can't get to take a picture with it, but you can take a picture there. It works on a 5-mile radius, so any lightning within 5 miles, it'll go off. Sirens go off. There's 4 sirens up there. It's got a timer for 30 minutes. As long as no other lightning is detected, they'll get I don't know if it's a voice or another message that'll say, area is clear, go back to playing. So it's a nice, again, improvement, because we just do it based on sight, hearing, stopwatch, and everybody wants to play. We don't see it, they want to play. So this is good for us, and it's actually a Little League rule that we have to stop for 30 minutes. Also, besides T3 and 4, as a new program, we also introduced a Challenger division, which is for any child with disability up to 18 years old will have the availability to play Little League. They play all by themselves, 9 a.m., along with T3 and 4, so they have the whole complex to themselves. So if anybody wants to, Anne Marie Cottrell is actually running that program for us, so it's a nice add to our program. So thank you again.
Mayor,
Thank you.
can I ask a question?
Oh, when we're done, when we get through, then I'll let you. Go ahead, I think you want to come on.
Jay Trumbauer, 130 Legion Street. Does the solicitation stuff apply to religious groups? Can they still just knock on my door without a solicitation permit? I'm asking because they did a couple days ago. Just curious. Please don't get rid of us being allowed to have chickens. I don't own any yet, but my neighbor does. They make noise. They're chickens. Please don't get rid of them. I'm not sure what the complaints were, but you guys brought up that their chickens was an issue. And I'm really curious how a crosswalk costs $200,000. We spent $180,000, $190,000 on a bunch of cameras a year or so ago, and 2 crosswalks seems a whole lot simpler than 30 cameras with infrastructure and all that other stuff. My kid will go out and paint your street for you for free almost. So, just really curious how that is that expensive.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else from the public like to address? Please step up.
Good evening. Zach Triano, 18 Willow Ave.
I'm sorry, first name, I didn't hear.
Zach.
Zach.
Yeah. First time here, just curious to know, I see the developments, the changes on in Willow Park. I've kind of been out of the loop on what's been going on. All I know is the establishment of the new fields, but in prior passing seasons, I've noticed, I think it's Riverdale, Pompton Lakes that uses the park, right, for the leagues. With the addition of the new fields, I noticed you guys mentioned something about the irrigation. I think that's been taken into consideration and built into it because, just cost perspective, if it floods, you guys in fields, did you guys take that into consideration and implement it? Secondly, 2 years ago, we had speed bumps. We tend to have a lot of speeders that shoot up and down that block. I witness it daily. I noticed that wasn't re-implemented last season. Not sure if that was taken into effect this season. And with the addition of the new fields, I take it we're going to have an increase of flow of traffic there. And I know we have a unofficial driveway, and we have an official. And I saw they just planted the trees today along the wooden fence, so I take it that's not going to be used anymore. But has that been taken into consideration in terms of the increased amount of vehicles that would be on that street? Lastly, sorry, I came with a full load of this. One of the neighbors mentioned to me that there was a mention of repaving the road. I don't know if there's any details on that, but I'm just out of the loop and looking for some details in terms of what the development was.
Yeah, when I'm all done, I'll answer.
Appreciate that. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Anyone else from the public like to address? Please step up. Whoever's coming. One of you. Dave, come on up first.
David Farron, corner of 7 Federal Hill Road. I've been meaning to ask you guys for, I don't know how long. the season's greetings signs and the bell that we use for the holidays. As you remember that they were both used on TD's lawn. Say like this year would have been the season's greetings. Then the bell would have been over here at Max. Then the next year would be the reverse way. So why isn't it on TD's lawn anymore now? And and also as you guys have seen in the town hall, which you and Liz see it every day, that the high school booster club has the golf outing in April. But you've seen the date on it, but again, contact whoever's on the flyer to register, or to get in touch with Dr. Perspolinski or Justin Jones on that. And and for the solicitation, as you started the subject, then it came to me that a few meetings back ago, which you said on Channel 77, that solicitors are allowed to go to doors at 9 at night. But in a way, I kind of disagree with that, because people are getting kids ready for bed in school and stuff, and the same. Like 8:30, 9 o'clock, and parents are getting kids ready for school and stuff like that, and so then they see a solicitor at 9 o'clock, and they're like, why are you here? And that sort of thing. You agree with me, AJ?
Yeah, I'll address you at the end, Dave. I'll answer your question.
And I picked up my ticket for the fire department's beefsteak, and Dan, I saw your picture for Officer of the Year. Congratulations. And then then as I was looking at it, then I was like, okay, now I know why. Because he knows everything, just like Al Evangelista. And to finish, does anyone here or out here play Stephen on Words with Friends?
Okay.
And last time I beat him was about 7-8 years ago, and God rest his soul, Bill and Stephen and I were at the Cardinal for lunch one Saturday, and sometime that week I finally beat Stephen after maybe 5 years or so. Then that was the last time I beat him, and I still can't.
Thank you, Dave. Okay.
Okay.
Answer the questions. Okay, I saw somebody else in. Al,
And I have to bring you up.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Al Evangelista, Emergency Management Coordinator. First of all, thank you for passing the expenditure tonight for the drone survey. As you probably know, we've had a benefactor doing that survey for us for a number of years, and it's getting to the point now where, it's costly because of the detail that's required for it. So that's passed, and I know the flood board was after that for a number of years. Mr. Corelli was nice enough to add the acid brook to that survey because it's another hazard in town that could present a problem, so that was great. And that's done, and I appreciate that. I want to thank, besides your support of emergency management as a whole, I want to thank the flood board membership. People in this town, I don't think, know what that board does. They're very dedicated, they're very intelligent. Every single one brings something else to the table that all goes toward that hazardous mitigation plan that we just received our final report on. So I want to thank those members publicly for meeting monthly as they do and bringing good information to the table. Following it up with our borough administrator is also very supportive, so thank you, Mr. Corelli. So the drone survey is done. The DEP, 2 weeks ago, Deputy Coordinator Dan Cottrell, you're getting a lot of press tonight, Dan. He and I attended a dam.
Is that why he came tonight?
I don't think so. No, I think he came with Mike. But in any event, we attended a dam course given by the DEP at the Public Safety Academy, and basically what it is it's to assuage any fears that we may have of upstream dams that might affect our community. And as you know, there's very, very strict requirements for dam inspections. They went all over that, the reporting requirements. If there's a problem with a dam, we're on the list. We get yearly updates to the reporting requirements and who the people are that's in charge. We keep them in the Records Bureau right here, update them annually as we get them, and that's the responsibility of the dam owner. So all of that is done behind the scenes. People aren't aware of it, but just know that the dams upstream of Pompton Lakes are safe. They're inspected regularly, and we do have the information on those.
I remember years ago when a dam was breaking and the town was running around like chickens with their heads cut off.
We had a dam break, and I brought this up at the seminar. It was a dam that broke in Stockholm. It was an earthen dam, and the biggest cause of dam collapses is overtopping, and that's exactly what happened. We had a good number of inches in an hour of rain. It overtopped the dam. That's what caused the breach. And I can tell you this, because I know the Wanakee Reservoir is always an issue and a concern. Their dams are top-notch, and they're inspected more than once a year, trust me. As you know, they have a security detail. They have about 12 dams, I think about a dozen dams that surround that whole reservoir. And the main dam is the one that people see. All the other ones that are in the woods and here and there, they really don't see. One dam that affects us is in Lake Iosco, which is actually in Bloomingdale, but you have to go through Wanakee to get to it. That dam was just recently refurbed, okay, and it meets the DEP requirements. The dam on Willard Street, you may know, is owned by the MUA, and that dam has just been refurbed last year, okay, and that dam has been complete and inspected. So to get back on the hazardous mitigation plan report, we received our final recommendation. We did well. We achieved most of our goals, with the exception of the Dawes Highway Bridge, which we're all aware of. But in any event, if you have any ideas as to mitigation projects, please bring them to our Flood Advisory Board, the chairperson, Lauren Bennon, who does a superb job, and or bring it to, just send it to Flood Advisory at Pompton Lakes, .nj.gov, and we'll act on that and include it in our next plan. This is a countywide plan. All 16 municipalities participate in it, and we just completed everything, and we're in good shape in that respect. Shade Tree Commission. We pretty much had a good shakeout in that last windstorm we had a couple of weeks ago, and we did not have another tree that was down in a public right-of-way, and that's phenomenal, phenomenal. Other towns had a multitude of problems, and fallen trees lead to power outages, so we really didn't even have any power outages. The one power outage we usually get is on Hemlock Road, all right, because the trees are very close to the wires there. So we fared very well on that. The Shade Tree Commission obviously does an excellent job. Pete O'Terry and I were in discussion yesterday. Thank you, Chief, for your cooperation today. You got it done real quick, because I know that that was probably a result of that wind gust. We had 25-mile-an-hour wind gusts, which is not a lot when you look at the tables, but it was enough to shake a few trees up. But fortunately, that's taken care of. The lightning protection, it's been an issue for a couple of years, been a big concern of mine. I want to thank the Board of Ed, obviously, for starting the project with their referendum money. And then, of course, the Rotary got involved because I knew we weren't going to cover all the fields, and we were going to try to apply for a grant to get the one of those at least. And then when we thought we were going to cover all the fields, they missed the deadline on the grant, and perhaps next year, if we still have a field remaining, we can apply for that. But I want to give credit where credit is due. And the Women's Club stepped forward, President Maria Kent, and they made a substantial donation to cover the signs and the signage that will be posted around, telling people about the warning devices and, what the timing is and what to do when the light flashes, et cetera, et cetera. So those signs are in production. Okay, kudos to the county for starting their own sign program, because we're getting 15 signs at a very, very low price compared to what a regular vendor would charge. And they're very nice signs. They're in production right now. And already spoke to the superintendent of DPW. Once we get them, they'll be handed over and they'll post them. The Board of Ed will post their own signage. So thank you to the Women's Club for that donation, to the Rotary, who then will, cover that, and then hopefully we can take it further as need be. So thank you very much for your time.
Thank you. Any else from the public would like to address? Seeing no one, motion to close the public session.
Motion.
Second. Councilman Hinton, Councilman Cruz, all in favor?
Aye.
Against? Joe, thank you for the information. The new program you're starting, I think it's a nice program, and it'll be a benefit to the community. You had a question for?
Yeah, I just had a question, but I think Al Evangelista might have answered it. The signage is being put up. I was just curious. I know that umpires are trained. Are all the coaches trained as to what the sounds are, what the lights are, or how's that?
I don't know the audible sounds yet, but umpires really run the games. And there's usually board members down there, but this will definitely eliminate human error, we'll call it. As far as it's not really 30 minutes, 25 minutes.
But the signage that Al was talking about should specify what the lights are and the siren is about.
I'm sure it'll be right on the snack stand, probably on all the fields. So, and we'll communicate all the managers, and coaches.
Okay.
Definitely informed.
I was just curious about that.
Okay, thank you. Jay, bring up a good question, something I didn't think about, the religious groups.
Yes, that raised a memory. And I want to look at it. I recall a watchtower case, and I don't know if that was overruled or not. And it ended up having restrictions, or it overturned restrictions that were associated with time and required a justification because of the heightened First Amendment rights associated with religion and politics. And I know that it associated with permissible restrictions being tied to dusk. So what I would like to do is I want to revisit the time restriction, make sure that we look at that, because the solicitation ordinance is broken down into two sections, charitable and non-charitable. And when my attorney looked this up, it was the non-charitable, and that's actually what was highlighted. So I'm not sure that you could even draw a distinction. So since we end up having charitable there, what I would suggest is this. Let me double check the hours, because we don't want to run into a First Amendment issue with religion. And I will either come in with the corrected date or with the corrected time as we had discussed, or some other adjustment with an explanation and the corrected fees, and an explanation on the no knock ordinance.
Okay, so more to follow on that, but a good point. The chickens, we are not looking at restricting chickens, it's just how we use them and numbers and things like that, but there's more to come from that group about that. The costs, welcome to the government. The government charges a lot of money for a lot of things, but I'm going to let Michael address that a little bit.
Thank you, Mayor. Yes, so I neglected to include in my explanation the project costs include the installation of 6 new ADA sidewalk curb ramps with detectable warning surfaces, both at the intersections of DuPont Place and Howard, DuPont Place and the other road adjacent to that. We also have 200 linear feet of concrete curb replacement, 200 linear feet of sidewalk replacement, and one of the key cost drivers here is the installation of 3 rapid flashing beacon crosswalk signs, which is $45,000 to that intersection. And again, some ancillary costs with asphalt and striping and et cetera. But again, just, highlighting that our hope is that this project is fully funded by grant funding.
But I understand it's a big number, but that makes more sense and there's a lot more involved. Zach, thank you for your questions. So yes, we all know that that's a flood zone. I ran soccer for 15 years down there, and I'm well aware of what goes on there. Unfortunately, it's the only place we have for our fields. So it's where we can do the best we can with what we have. Obviously, if a flood was to come off, our sprinklers are set up that they don't sprinkle when there's any kind of rain or any water, so that's addressed for that. The speed bumps were unofficial speed bumps put down by an organization. I'll just leave it at that. I don't know if that organization is going to put them back or not. But you bring up a point, because again, I'm very familiar with the traffic there. That is something maybe the council could look on, because we own that property. That maybe we could look at that, because they do move pretty quick. Bringing that up, though, was my suggestion when meeting with our engineers and with our administrator to push that fence back out, not allowing parking on that side, because that's where we run into issues with kids running across the street. We're trying to keep everybody in the parking side and then walking across the crosswalks that we'll be building to go to the fields. So there will be no more parking along that side with the fence. But the traffic, yes. So we're only adding one more field, but it is an add-on. But what we're trying to do is stop the cars from parking on the side streets. Well, was it Maple? What are those? Chestnuts? Whatever those streets are on the back, we're trying to stop the parking there and get everybody into the complex itself. And that way it reduces the extra parking on the outside. Yes, during some Saturdays there might be more games. If you've ever been to a football game down at Carlo, when they run their games, they're parking on both sides of the street. It's a little tedious to get through there. It's a short time, couple hours, and then that goes away. But yes, there could be more traffic down there.
Okay, what else do I got there? Okay, Dave,
If I remember correctly, but I have to look into this, I think TD Bank no longer wanted the lights in front of their side. But I will look into that, and Mike, maybe we can check up on that. I know what you're talking about. We used to have them. We used to alternate them back and forth, and it just didn't work that way. So we'll look into that. Thank you for the information on the golf outing. Anybody's interested, we'll gladly join the golf outings. Did I miss somebody? No. Okay. Al, you hit almost every group, so we all have good things to say. For the Flood Advisory Board is one of the, in my opinion, one of the best boards out there running around handling floods. There's nobody better than that. Same thing with Shade Tree. They're on top of their game. They know what they're doing. And, this always goes back to what I say about all our groups. When you have good volunteers who care about the town, you're going to get good results. I talk to some mayors who can't fill their shade tree boards or their flood boards. They just can't get people interested. We have good people on those boards, and it makes a difference. Same thing with like Rotary and all the other boards you mentioned. They're there to work. They're there to do it, including OEM. We have experienced people doing what they're supposed to do, which only aids us in how we do things. The dam thing is an interesting conversation, because now when things are low and the numbers are low, nobody's thinking about it. But as soon as that rain starts flowing and there's 8 inches of rain going down, everybody's running around saying, oh my God, what's going on? So it's good that they're staying on top of those things and being prepared. Again, being an old man and been doing this before we had social media, it was much harder to reach out to the public with those kind of things. Now, good and bad, unfortunately, social media helps us get that message out. And it does help us understand, especially for new residents who don't know what they're in for when these floods. Let's knock on wood. We've done a lot of work to keep the flooding at bay, but we all know at some point in the future, flooding is going to happen to our community again. It's not cleared away. It's not going to go away. We've done a great job, and I think this council and the Shade Tree and the Flood Advisory Board have done great jobs at handling that. But for the new residents, they might not know what's coming when a big flood happens. So thank you for all that information. I think that was everybody. Did I miss anybody? No. Okay.
Can I have a question?
Sure.
The gentleman from Willow Ave said that trees were planted down there?
Yeah.
Well,
Who planted the trees?
Along the road. I was just down.
That's part of the plan, engineer.
That was part of the Willow?
Yes.
So Downs Tree Service planted?
I don't,
That's correct,
yeah, I
yes.
don't know.
Okay, that's what happened.
All the T-ball fields, trees are planted in the back too.
Oh, okay.
So, you know, when you come in, you had the fence, and you had that space where people parked along the fence coming
Right,
in?
I know, I seen it was kind of graded out.
Right, so we moved the fence all the way out and put trees in there, so no one can park there anymore. Stopping that cross-traffic back and forth. So I guess we got extra trees that weren't part of the plan, because that wasn't.
No, that's part of the.
It wasn't
permit.
initial?
Yep,
Okay.
absolutely.
Okay, any other questions?
Yes, on a positive note, you're still young, you mentioned old man twice. You're still a young
I
man.
appreciate that comment, thank you
Okay.
so much. Could you tell my wife?
Be on a positive note.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Privilege of the floor, anybody have privilege of the floor?
Something real quick. I wanted to acknowledge and thank Council President Kent for running the meeting last time.
Oh, yes, thank you.
did
Yes, I forgot about that.
a good job on that.
Good to see that.
I got everybody confused down that end. That's for sure. I had no idea.
Yeah, people don't realize they don't hear well on the ends, it's hard.
It's very hard. You have a very hard job there.
Okay. Privilege of floor, anything else?
I just have one thing I wanted
Okay.
to mention to the, our attorney. 5-20.3, there is an exceptions section in the ordinance that you gave us, and it does talk about religious proselytizing, and it's covered under administrative code, so I don't know if we've already addressed that or not.
Yeah,
It
well,
sounds like we did.
it's a more in-depth analysis than that. I
Oh.
saw the exceptions in it.
Okay.
But if you recall, when we first discussed this, I ended up having some concerns about the times.
Mhm.
And I know that my associate was looking at this from a commercial solicitation issue, because that's what the AT&T was, the catalyst. But now that that refreshed the memory, and I just want to make sure that there isn't an issue. Okay? I'm not sure exactly to what extent I looked at that. I could tell you why I think that there's still an issue. It's just not a simple exception. When you look at the charitable portion of the code, it has the same language. So the charitable portion of the code is supposed to apply to religion, and then it's saying that this doesn't apply to religion. So it may be sufficiently parsed out and applied to charitable organizations that are not religious. And then I want to take a look at the First Amendment cases, because there was a whole line of cases that were watchtower cases. Yeah, that came out, watchtower, I think that is, I forget what religion that was. But
Jehovah's Witness.
Jehovah's Witness.
Which we have in town.
So that did, there were a number of published decisions on that. So I would like an opportunity just to revisit that issue before I end up giving you the ordinance. I'll either verify what we discussed with respect to the commercial that my attorney confirmed, and if something has to be adjusted from there, I'll have the information and we'll clarify.
Can I just add to that while you're researching all that?
Sure.
Just see how a no soliciting list would also compare with religious part of it. So
No
if you're
problem.
on a no
Yes.
soliciting list, what does that do? So we'll add that.
That seems to me at first blush because that's not the municipality
No,
that's doing it, it's the individual, and I think that that's okay, but I'll re-verify that.
Okay. Any other questions, Bill?
Not for the attorney, but for privilege of the floor.
Go, sure.
I would like to read this. Next door Pompton,
What's that?
Next door Pompton, that's on the internet, is Next Door Holdings. I got this from the Trends. Next Door Holdings, the neighborhood network with more than 105 million users, has released its 2026 rankings of the friendliest cities, spotlighting the New Jersey cities where neighbors are most engaged, supportive, and welcoming, with two Passaic County towns, Pompton Lakes and Wanacue, making the top 5 in New Jersey. The rankings for the friendliest neighborhoods in New Jersey are based on how New Jersey residents interact with one another on the Nextdoor platform. The data captures everything from neighbors helping each other out to how they share resources and build community connections. The top 5 friendliest cities in New Jersey were Asbury Park, number 1, Pompton Lakes was number 2, Chesterfield, 3, Beechwood, 4, and Wanacue was number 5.
So it's interesting. Like I said, I was at an event last night with these mayors, and one of the mayors where the festival was being held was Florham Park. And he mentioned this survey. I think he said his was named one of the friendliest towns.
Right,
Next time
so-
I want to see him, I'm saying, we were number 2.
We're number 2.
I didn't know that at the time, Rowan, growing up.
It went on to say, rankings like these are a reflection of something that can't be manufactured, the everyday choices neighbors make to show up for each other, said the official. From welcoming posts for someone new on the block to sharing recommendations or lending a hand, those small moments add up to something real. Pompton Lakes exemplifies what it looks like when a community genuinely takes care of its own.
It's good.
So I thought that was
It's very interesting.
pretty
It's
good.
good to hear.
I wanted to read that.
I'm excited to hear that, so thank you.
And as long as we were ahead of Wanacue, we're doing good.
Okay, motion to adjourn into closed session. We do have a closed session. So thank you.
Motion.
Councilman Bay, Councilman Cruz, all in favor?
Aye.
Yes, thank
We're
you.
gonna talk substantively on it. We just
No,
gotta
it's
move
good. So,
forward.
yeah, you're gonna vote. You gotta vote on this, right?
Yeah, you gotta vote on it.
Okay.
You gotta add it to the agenda, then you gotta vote on it.
So what do you want me to do?
We need a motion to add this resolution to the agenda, unless it was added already, was it?
Liz, was this in?
No, we did not put that on.
All right, can I have a motion to add resolution 26-1, is that 70 or 71?
I think it's
71.
71, to the agenda.
Motion.
Councilman Santers,
Second.
Councilman Bay, all in favor?
Aye.
Against, and now we're voting on this, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right, now an authorization, and I should read the resolution, or?
Yeah, that's better.
Yeah, okay. Settlement agreement between Timothy Duffy and the Borough of Pompton Lakes, resolution 26-171. Can I have a motion?
Motion.
Councilman Cruz?
Second.
Councilman Hinton, roll call, please. You got this, Liz, right? I don't need to mark it.
Councilman Cruz,
Yes.
Councilman Hinton,
Yes.
Council President Kemp,
Yes.
Councilman Santers.
Yes.
Councilman Bennett,
Yes.
Councilman Bay.
Yes.
Okay, motion to adjourn.
You have to say,
So moved.
in closed session
Second.
discussed.
Oh, I'm sorry, you're right.
Yeah,
In closed session, we discussed personnel, and,
Litigation.
Litigation. Motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Councilman Bennett, Councilman Cruz, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay,
Thank you all.
Thank you.
good to see you.
Good.